Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Well, here it is, Week 5, NFL Fantasy Season, or NFL Season 2018, and a preview of Week 6. Those buys are starting to kick in now. I've got 3 players on a buy this week. It's disgusting. No special guests this week. Benji Keep in Berlin was MIA. And excuse me. And oh yes, Matthew 2T's Hurley rocking it in the Big Apple. But we did have our glamorous assistant, Lianne Davies, who provided us with this week's stats, which was really cool. So check out our Week 5 review, Week 6 preview, NFL Podcast 2018. Flashing. Flashing.
Flashing.
Flashing.
Flashing.
Going up and down. Going up and down. Going up and down. Right. Podcast time. Let's do this. Give it one of them. At this point in time, that's all actually quite redundant. Ugh. I'm sitting on the wrong side. Ugh. What happens over here?
It's the best side.
Do you know what?
This is where the spiders live.
When I sat here, I immediately thought, this is my side.
Yeah.
But then, I remembered, I'm pretty sure this is the side I sat for when Toots was doing the podcast.
Yeah.
So maybe it is my side.
And you sat there last week, didn't you?
No,
I sat there, Tom sat there, didn't he?
Are you here every week?
Because we had Matt chilling out just...
How come you're here every week? What's so special about you? My co-host Paul Williams is here today. Our lovely assistant, and I'm going to come back to that statement later on in the podcast. Our lovely assistant, Lianne Davies, is also here. I'm your host.
That sounds like a cliffhanger to me.
Cookie J. Cook. And yeah, I'll come back to that later. For this purpose it is. We have no special guests this week, other than ourselves.
What's there any text about the 45-minute mark? Just saying, oh, sorry lads.
Benji Keep, very much like his team, decided to not turn up this week.
Straight in there and not even
Just
oh my god!
in the room.
I was gonna play nice, but you know, if he's not here to defend himself, then he can take one in the. And Matthew, everyone's favourite, 2 teams. Hurley.
Matthew Brooklyn Hurley.
Hang on a minute. Who did you play this week?
Thomas Quinn.
Get him on the phone.
I mean, I can if you want.
Why didn't we think that?
There's no need, really.
Oh, did he win?
Why didn't we think of that?
He won a lot.
He won by a large margin.
Yeah.
I don't care whether he won or not. Why isn't he here? Get him on the phone. All the way from 10 minutes down the road.
All the way from round the corner.
This is Week 5 review. Week 6 preview.
Why has Paul got his head in his hand?
Because
I already know we have to go through the standards at some point.
Because
it's not
like
pretty sight.
The 2017 Cleveland Browns, at this point in the season, well, I don't want to talk about it because it's we've all.
I'm officially doing worse than any official NFL teams now.
Yeah.
Because the final team without a win picked up a win this week. So I am like none of the NFL teams in the fact that I have not got a win on the board yet. And I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit depressing.
Let's talk some turkey. And that turkey is...
Week 4 in the NFL? It's not. No, week 5 in the NFL, sorry. This is another group I've got going on, but it's not about NFL. It's not that.
Let's talk... I'm going to. No, I'm going to. Starting... Because when you go into the app, generally starts with your game, so let's talk my game. I am so happy this week that I wasted 122 points on a team that posted 47 points.
Oh my God! I was too busy concentrating on my absolute horror show. I didn't even notice that he'd only scored 47.
47
Wow,
points.
that is...
And it's always good to jump onto the bench to see that he should have probably played LeGarrette Blount. And that's about it. I, on the other hand, Hines is the only money I'm leaving on the table.
Now,
and if I'm honest...
Weren't you burnt a little bit with him? Because didn't you pick him up in your week of no running backs and then decide not to play him and he scored quite a lot?
Yeah. None of them playing this week. And he outscored one of my running backs. So, Adrian Peterson, what happened this week? Come on, guy. Come on, guy.
He was playing against the New Orleans Saints, who have finally got their shit together.
Again. Steady on. I don't know why. Maybe it knows that we are co-hosts.
Yeah, mine's doing this.
Is it not working?
It brings up my score.
Yeah, but nobody
and
else's.
no one else's.
Yeah.
Now that could be problematic. However, if we go into the scores, we can get the scores. So, do you want me to start I've got it
right. Okay, so my co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, going up against Kaepernick's Nike. He's currently in the Big Apple. Matthew 2 teams, Hurley.
Not dead, but
what do we say? The man is going into week 6, 5-0.
And he's top of the league, son of a bitch.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah, but to give him his due, he's scoring. He's averaging over 100 points a week.
He's consistent. You got to give him that. He's fairly consistent.
So you can't really argue with that. But I'd like to anyway, because I hate him. But that's neither here nor there.
Now then. Yeah, so that was 95 for 2, so 64 for...
Yeah, it was a bit of a savaging.
Co-host.
There was not an awful lot I could have done. I could have played the Pittsburgh Steelers defence, which I acquired in a trade.
I wanted to
touch on that. There was something that was mentioned by our lovely assistant.
Now, am I to take from that you're annoyed at me?
Annoyed at you for not playing them.
I see. Yeah, but I've got the Rams defence.
Who scored you?
Yeah, but that's because I didn't realise that Seattle were going to actually put up a fight. But to be honest with you, I didn't even want the Steelers defence, to be fair. They've
been sat on my bench for the last couple of weeks. So they wouldn't... if I had them, I wouldn't have played
The only reason I took them was to be nice and give you back a player that I understand you would accidentally dropped.
I'd thrown away.
Caused controversy. A wave of controversy swept.
A waivers of controversy.
Controversy.
Can't speak.
Something here that I'm not sure I understand. Firstly, Cole's changed his team name Obi-Wan Mahomes, which versus Matthew Moore feeling good, and I'm like, hang on a minute, why is Cole gone 4-1, but Cole lost this week to 5-0. Matthew Moore, get him on the phone.
So it's them Matts. The Matthews just keeping it going at the top of the league.
I hope they both beat each other.
Honestly, thought you were going to say die there. I was like, whoa, bit
I hope they both stiff. I hope they get a tie in the final. That means that neither of them win.
I think in that situation, the trophy would only rightly go to the team finishing bottom.
Sweet, I'm going to win. Our next matchup. Do I need to say the scores? 97-84.
Close enough.
I'll be all right with that. Yeah. You can't argue with that sort of, because you both did well.
I'll have a quick check. I don't think there was massive points left on the bench. Cole could have played Deshaun Watson, but he's got Mahomes. You don't take Mahomes out when he's in a hot streak.
No, you don't.
Other than that, Jordy Nelson, but his wide receivers didn't do too bad. So yeah, he can't have any arguments there.
Yeah.
There's not an awful lot he could have done that one.
Speaking of 4-1,
oh god,
Quinn Corp posts the dark horse of the
for
league.
this season's winnings.
Quincourt posted another win against Come On Saquon, Miss only lady in the league, Lianne Davies.
The official term.
79.
You just look at there's two, like Rogers and Todd Gurley, both 28 points each.
Yeah, that's what happens with Todd Gurley.
We'll come back
Yeah.
to Mr.
But to be fair,
Aaron
I mean,
Rodgers.
you've got Saquon Barkley there getting 24.
Yeah.
So your running backs have almost wiped each other out there in theory. You've not got much on the bench, so...
Was this your game of the week? Crimea Phil Rivers versus Foosball is the Devil? Because they were both posting similar scores.
They were both on 2-2. And
one had to go one way and one had to go the
I
other.
think it was because, they were just... no, hang on. There was one game where I was like, I fancy someone to post a loss on somebody, and I can't remember who it was.
Was it the last game?
Maybe. Yeah. I can't remember from being...
Crimea Phil Rivers unfortunately posts a loss this week against Foosball of the Devil, 130-92. I mean, they're both good scores. I'd take either of those any day of the week.
I think he suffered where you suffered last week, but in a different manner, in that he left Isaiah Crowell on his bench, whereas you decided to play him, I believe?
So I played him and he got a big fat bagel.
Yeah.
This week, Phil leaves him on the bench and he's just like, oh, where's all the points? Oh, that's right, they're in my pocket. That's right, because I'm taking them all.
But again, if he'd have played him, it wouldn't have made any difference, because James's team posted some pretty big numbers, which is amazing considering that he had Blake Bortles, who threw 4 interceptions and still managed to post double digits.
Yeah. I've got Blake in my other team.
So if you take away his -8, you'd have had a 28 score. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
Yeah.
Big numbers, and they only scored 14 points. He still threw for over 400 yards. That's insane.
Yeah. And our final game of the week is Mr. Robert Rafton's Yorkshire Knights versus Mr. Tim Lacey, Squirrel Killers. The man has finally done it. He's finally got points on the board. Squirrel Killers, Tim Lacey, 82 to Rob Rafton, 67. Tim Lacey gets the dub.
Highlight of that win for me is his Odell Beckham Jr. scoring 23 points. And on the note, it just says 2 total touchdowns. I think that takes out of the equation the fact that one of those touchdowns was a throwing touchdown. Mm-hmm. So...
They were playing all sorts, because I'd seen something about there was this beef between the Panthers and Odell Beckham Jr. Like Cam and all this. And he was throwing...
That, I believe, refers back to when Josh Norman was playing for Carolina. And they didn't... I think they had a game where they both got ejected, I think.
Oh, yeah. Can I just? I'm gonna have to remember that this is the camera that I show this to. Can I just show everybody at home Tim Lacey's bench? You know how we like to look at the bench and go, could you have done any better? Could you have done any better? Tim Lacey could not have done any better because every player was either on a bye or scored 0, not a single point.
The closest
on Tim Lacey's bench.
The closest anyone got to scoring a point was Doug Martin's 1 yard. 1 rushing yard. Wow.
I mean, to say the man is gifted, I do not know what. So there you go. So do you want me to do the standings? Please do.
So, as previously discussed, we have 2 players at the top of the league. We have the 2 Matthews. Matthew Hurley's Kaepernick's Nike. And Matthew Moore's Feeling Good. Both level on 5 wins. No losses, 100% record. Next, we have 2 players tied, level on 4 and 1. That's the aforementioned new named Obi-Wan Mahomes, which
it's a good name.
I'm going to go out on a limb. There's absolutely no way he's come up with that himself. He's definitely found that on Google, or he's found it crawling through Twitter or Facebook or some sort of.
It's a good name.
He's very good. Not quite as good. Next down is obviously Quincourt. On the naming front. Obviously his team's got Todd Gurley in it, and I'm starting to notice a bit of a pattern here. If your team's got Todd Gurley in it, you
it wins.
basically win fantasy
Yeah.
because he is that good.
Yeah, I mean, he was. Did he play 2 different positions?
It's insane because you cover him. You try and cover the run, and then they'll just split him wide as a receiver and just have him.
I saw him throw to him as a wide receiver, and next play he was doing the running game. It was like, what is going on with that man?
He is a strange beast. Then we have a man on his own at 3-2 in Foosball the Devil and James Forrester Gray. We then have a clutch of people at a 2-3 record, including the aforementioned Crimea Phil Rivers, the only lady in the league, come on Saquon, Ms. Davies, and improving his record to 2-3 is the Cookie.
Thank you.
We then have 3 unfortunate souls, sadly on 1-4. The aforementioned Yorkshire Knights, sadly moving. I believe that's that is Rob's 4th loss in a row. So I got an opening win. It was all looking rosy, and it's basically turned to shit. Next, we have the Squirrel Killers, Mr. Lacey, getting his first win of the season, and the Oxford Heathens, who, after scoring such paltry points, deserve everything they got. And I believe that's everyone in the league. So do I move on to the next?
There's a name of the.
Wait.
I think we need to move on to the next points we were going to make.
There's a name of the bottom of the
Liam was
list.
saying
No,
something.
There's someone on the bottom
Liam's saying something.
on
Have you got
a
something?
5-loss streak.
Ooh, excellent! Can't wait to find out that, guys. I mean, the reason he's on a 5-loss streak is because he's conceded more points than anyone in the league. So I think it's a combination of being very unlucky and having absolutely dross players. But I mean, it is what it is.
Shit.
Yeah, sadly, Paul Williams is hiding.
My co-host, and I'm not.
Ironically enough, they are hiding at the bottom of the division. So
I am not at any point considering that I should have maybe gone with a different co-host. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. So I'm. Who said use that?
I feel like this could be intentional on your part.
Intentional grounding.
Yeah.
5 yards after the penalty.
please
Please play first down.
I'd love to hear more.
On the basis that you have more than one team, one of which is currently at the top of the league.
It's a fake.
Feeling good. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
Like, I'm making
The worst
it
thing is, he was on the podcast
kid.
last week, and the worst thing is that he was so happy about the fact that he was doing
That he was a real person.
that he was a real person. I mean, that AI managed to take me all of 6 days to make, but
Well, somebody made money last week, that's for
it was
sure.
very convincing. So.
Let's talk about week 5 in the NFL.
I think there's only one place to start, surely. It's that we have a new all-time leading yardage maker in the NFL. Last night, Drew Brees. I need to get the stats, but he did. I think he's now overtaken Peyton Manning in the stats. Obviously, this is fantastic viewing and compelling podcasting.
Well, let me refer back to a conversation at the start when I said our glamorous assistant, who provided all the stats this week, because I couldn't.
Oh, this was last night's game.
Use my phone because I was streaming the games to the TV, and I was like, "How am I going to make all my notes?" So our glamorous assistant actually assisted this week, and look,
I had a rummage.
Look.
That is amazing. That is detailed.
Look! Although, I think the first one is out of date.
No, I think that is right.
That came from
Wasn't
this week.
that the week before, though?
No, it's from Thursday's game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Okay.
I think because they covered it on a podcast I was listening to in the week. So, you said something about Adrian Peterson.
I did say something. Decided not to turn up this week.
Yeah, is it maybe because he... I'm just double checking this for absolute certainty. Is it maybe because he dislocated his shoulder when he was playing?
You're getting dropped in the morning.
Right, if you drop him, I'm definitely picking him up and I will not be giving him back. I only do that once a season. Right,
you're like Spider-Man. Everyone gets one.
Can't miss play. Breeze break. Tell them, Peter.
Apparently everyone gets one.
Oh no, it's gonna start, and that's not good because it's.
No. Get this in. Right. Well, I'm just gonna start because it's all dead air at this point in time. Unless you want to tell us the stats, do your job as
that could be
your job
segment. Your segment on the show.
You could have a whiteboard
stats lady. Oh my god! Can you imagine?
Whiteboard marker and talk. There's always 5 NFL football.
One of the most prolific passers in NFL history added a remarkable record Monday.
This guy
to his long list of Hall of Fame caliber achievements. Drew Brees broke Peyton Manning's all-time passing record of 71,940 yards during the second quarter of the New Orleans Saints' 43-19 victory over the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. He set the mark on a 62-yard touchdown pass to Traquan Smith that gave the Saints a 26-6 lead. Brees needed 201 yards to surpass Manning's mark. The TD pushed him to 228. He finished the game completing 26 of 29 passes for 363 yards and 3 touchdowns. He currently has 72,103 career passing yards.
That is just...
Drew Brees is basically the man. And as everyone always said, everyone sort of bands around the phrase first ballot Hall of Famer. It's pretty much nailed on at this point that he's going straight in the Hall of Fame 5 years after he's finished playing. Because he is that good. And yes, I am very happy that I have his jersey. The first jersey I ever bought. It's very tight now, which is sad. But
you have it. And then
I do own that jersey, as it was New Orleans was where I was.
Okay. Mind the hat.
I've got it.
Don't leave us.
I'm gonna put it somewhere. Wait. Where?
On your head.
Tico's it?
Yeah. Keep it nice and warm.
Did you do any of the other stats?
No.
We have not started on stats yet.
Paul just kept talking.
Yeah, sorry, I just sort of rambled on that one. Yeah, so Drew Brees, new all-time passing leader. Will he get to 80,000 yards before he retires? I think he probably will.
80,000 yards. How fast that in football field? No, nobody gets that one.
We're quite good at the yard.
So number one on Lianne's stats of the week, the GOAT.
No, we just discussed him.
The other GOAT, the Billy Goat, Thomas Brady, made his 500th touchdown pass, making him the third quarterback to do so. Joins Peyton Manning and Brett Favre. Apparently, Drew Brees is on the cusp of becoming the fourth quarterback to
check
join
where
them.
he's at.
I didn't actually check what his touchdown passes are.
Brees exited the game at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter. He finished the game completely 26-29, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns. He has 499 career touchdown passes. So he almost joined him in the same week.
That's not the cusp, that is one away. Do you want to do the next one?
No, continue.
Let's talk Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
That
want
was
to talk?
one angry man on the sidelines of that game. Until he turned it around.
Was it? But he was only angry or mad about one thing, it looked like, and that was the sheer terrible nature of Malcolm. Is it Mason Crosby? Sorry, not Malcolm Crosby.
Yeah.
Mason Crosby's terrible right foot.
I think he was frustrated prior to that.
More than likely, because to be fair, they went into the game with only Devontae Adams as their only fit number one receiver. So they're going in with a lot of rookie receivers. I mean, I think he got a touchdown out of at least one of them, but. Yeah, he's good, but he can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Aaron Rodgers spent the first half of the game looking incredibly frustrated, but made a comeback from minus fantasy points to posting 28 points in fantasy.
So, when I don't know if we covered it on the podcast or we just said it at work, when I said to Tom, he was complaining one week because he hadn't played Ryan Fitzpatrick when he went off and scored 40 points and that. I was like, yeah, but you've got Aaron Rodgers. If you've got Aaron Rodgers in fantasy, you don't bench.
There's never a point where you're going to go, am I playing Rodgers this week? The only time you say that is, am I playing Rodgers this week? I mean, he is on a bye.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's either play Aaron Rodgers on a bye or play Blake Bortles. No.
I'd be tempted to put Rodgers in. Julian Edelman made his debut return, as did Mark Ingram, both coming off the back of 4-game suspensions. Ingram chalked up a very respectable 19 fantasy points.
I just thought you were going to say 19 yards, and it was like, what?
Anyone that has Kamara may have felt the blow from that, though, as it reduced his
No, they
receptions.
didn't. They still managed to absolutely smoke me, so it's fine.
Let's talk everyone's favourite football position, the kickers.
Oh, Jesus. So halfway through after the first set of games, I got a text from my brother just saying, what's going on with the kickers this season? But it does seem to be a bit of a disease.
We might have mentioned him already. Mason Crawford.
Oh, dear.
Missed not one, not two. No, let's put it as it is. He missed 5 kicks.
Oh, okay.
He made one. He made one right at the end.
Leaving
Make no difference.
13 points on the field, and those points could have changed the outcome of the game.
They said at one point that if he'd have kicked, this must have been before Detroit went out, scored again to go even further ahead. But they said that if he'd have made all his field goals, Green Bay would have been up. So
yeah, I mean, really, I would just sat there and went, "Well, he's getting fired in the morning."
Well, but has been the kicker for a while there. And they seem to be behind him. But yeah, you can have an off game and miss 1. You can't have an off game and miss 5. That's particularly bad.
I mean,
you have to be able to perform under pressure.
Your own,
especially as a kicker. That is
your
basically
only
one job.
You're like, oh, I do the kicking bit. Yeah, and I didn't do that.
I kicked it.
I didn't kick it, but it just didn't go through the point where I'm supposed to kick it through.
Graham Gano.
Yeah, I'm sure I had him at one point in fantasy this season and dropped him.
For the Panthers, secured 19 fantasy points. As a kicker.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on this.
Kicker. 19.
I swear to God, the first week in the first season of fantasy, I went to bed Monday night. I must have had a 20-point lead over Toots, thinking,
this one's
in the bag. I get to gloat in front of his face tomorrow. Woke up and found out that Matt Bryant had kicked, I think it was like 5 field goals, at least 2 of which were from 40 or 50 yards, and he beat me by 1 point because his kicker had scored 21
points.
I was absolutely livid. Absolutely livid.
I remember.
It only happened to you. In a game with...
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's got to the stage now where it was. I always thought it was either going to be, I'll beat him, or he'll beat me by 1, and then it just seems to be a case of my guys just go, we'll turn it up this week. It's fine. Don't need it.
Greg Joseph,
Browns
kicker for the Browns, managed to redeem himself for an early missed field goal by making a game-winning kick in overtime for the Browns. Second win of the season for the Browns.
Second win of the season? Third game of the season that's gone to overtime. So they had the first week when they were playing the Steelers and drew.
I mean, obviously I don't need to say at this point in time, but every week the game has gone to overtime.
Yeah, there's been at least one game each week of the season that's gone to overtime.
Madness.
I think it's just because games are getting closer for some reason. They're becoming closer games, other than like obviously the obvious blowouts and stuff like that. But yeah,
Adam Vinatieri holds the current NFL record of 44 consecutive successful kicks.
Now is that
he's going to be a Hall of Fame.
Well, I think he's going to pass all time. I don't know if he's already passed it.
So he's the top.
I don't know if he's just because he
made field goals.
He got something earlier in the season.
596 was it?
So I don't know if it was that
field goals made.
But is that so? The 44 successful kicks, is that field goals or is it all kicks?
I presume
point
it's
after
all
that.
potentially, yeah.
Because there's a guy I can't remember who, but they keep flashing up his stat that it's Robbie Gould at San Francisco. I think he's made the last 30 or something like that kicks, and it was the most in franchise history. But he might have missed one on the weekend. I don't know.
We've got some injuries on the board.
What, Adrian Peterson? Just scheduled.
The Rams lost 2 players in Sunday's game to concussion, but it didn't stop them from beating the Seahawks, both Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. Oh.
And injuries. Corey Grant for the Jags is likely out for the season.
Yeah, I just saw something there that flashed up on the
What
NFL
injury?
on the NFL mobile app that said that the Jags are looking to speak to Jamal Charles.
Really?
Because obviously at the moment they've got Fournette, but his hamstring or calf or something like that's dodgy as fuck. So he's like week to week and whether he's going to play or not. But they seem to be getting a tune out of TJ Yeldon. So the running game's not suffering.
Yeldon's doing real well. Moving on to general team stats. The Chiefs and the Rams are the only 2 teams at this point in time that are 5-0. How good are the Rams?
They've looked. They're getting involved in closer games. Like the last 2 weeks, I think they got eventually they got past the Vikings by about 10 or 14 or something like that, but they only got past the Seahawks this week by 2. And that was a closer game.
Wins a win.
So they're getting closed down a bit more, but the win's a win at the end of the day, I suppose. Chiefs though.
Chiefs. The Saints are now on a 4-week winning streak.
So it's looking like Saints, Rams for who goes to the Super Bowl at the moment, as it stands.
Yeah.
Although the Bears might have something to say about that. They're looking pretty decent.
Yeah, they are. The Cardinals managed to get their first win of the season to take them to 1-4. Dolphins and the Patriots are now vying at the top of their division at 3-2.
Oh, the Dolphins.
It's not going to last long.
No.
It's not, unfortunately.
As soon as the Pats hit top spot, they won't relinquish it for the rest of the season. Simple as that.
And the Falcons currently trailing at the bottom of their division, 1-4.
Yeah, you'd have got big odds on them being bottom of the pack after 5 weeks. I know the Bucks have had a bye, but
and that is the
runners and riders in the NFL.
Week 5 roundup, as brought to you by Lianne Davies.
Bosh. Excellent work.
Anybody got anything else on Week 5?
Can't say I've seen anything massive, personally.
No, it was a good week, some good games. We had peeps round, didn't we?
I did.
Made a bit of an evening of it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I bruised my hands, kneading. Can't put them together. Kneading dough and rolling dough for homemade pizza.
Was good.
Was good.
I had pizza, homemade by somebody, but then bought
Papa John.
by me. It was not Papa John.
I don't know if I've ever had a Papa John.
You will have done, but you'll have had it the first time it was in York, because it was just down the road from you. Okay.
I don't know that I've ever had it.
Papa John's is good. Nice
know
crust. Don't know how we've got into Papa John's, but you know.
No, don't know. Let's talk.
Oh God.
Let's talk Week 6 matchups. Week 6 games. Obviously, we have to talk Week 6 games because, well, you know, some of us are going to be there.
Oh,
Some
excellent.
of us are going to be there.
Ah, yes, the beginning of the Wembley games.
Some of us are going to be there.
Yes. Is it now? What time is it kicking off at? Is it a 2:30 or is it a 6?
Yeah.
6. It's a 6 o'clock. Ooh.
Yeah,
You are going to have a long day, my friend.
I know. I keep going, I'm really glad I'm not working on Sunday.
That means you won't be getting
Obviously,
back
I will
till
be driving
after.
for 7 hours. And
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
You won't be getting back till after.
Fine.
Way after midnight, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Cook, this guy, goes up against the Squirrel Killers, Mr. Tim Lacey. Currently projected that I'm apparently not bothering this week, but it's saying that I've only got 6 players to play.
You'll
so
have 3 guys on buys.
Probably need to set a lineup. Mr. Lacey is projected to score 70, so he's going to win apparently. I'll address that at some point.
Make sure you've got
Obi-Wan Mahoney's
Can the Chiefs just be on a bye this week?
versus my esteemed co-host, Mr. Hyde and Zeke Paul Williams.
What's the...
That is freaking close, that kidder.
Yeah,
85, 83.
the projections can take a swan dive off the end of my cock.
Now I'm very... This could be...
Game of the week.
Oh, it's game of the week. Game of the week right here. Because what I want to see...
I've never pulled for Tom to win a game so
What I want to see. So Kaepernick's Nike, Matthew Tooties Hurley versus Quinn Corpse, Thomas Quinn.
Interesting.
According to this, Toots has to set a player, but according to this, Mr. Quinn's going to win.
So, unless he's on bye, that's Kamara against Gurley. That could be tasty. Although saying that, obviously Ingram coming back this week took a lot of his reps away from him.
Yeah, it did, boy. We've got Feeling Good, Matthew Moore versus Crimea Phil Ruiz. We've got a 5-0 going up against 2-3. Couple of players apparently need setting both sides, but Matthew Moore might want to address the fact that it looks like Phil's going to win that by quite a way. Lianne Davies will be posting a win this week.
Who am I playing?
The Oxford,
Well, it's not me.
The Oxford,
I'd like to take it.
the Oxford
I've already played and
Heathens.
smashed your team.
Benji Keep 1-4. It already says you're going to win that. There are players to slot in, but yeah. Foosball is the devil. James Forrester Gray versus our very own Mr. Robert Rafton. All players set in that game at this current time. Early reports say it's a win for one of the reigning champions, James Forrester Gray.
Interesting.
So those are our games this week. I'm saying it here, you heard it here first. Game of the week, Toots versus the boy Quinn.
Oh, God, it is.
So we'll see about that one. Right.
I've got them here.
Hit me with the games.
So, Thursday night football. So that's Friday night football if we're in the UK. So, we have the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, with a rather disappointing 2-3 record after 5 games. I think they only lost 3 games in the entirety of last season. I think they finished 13-3 in the end. So, unless they're going to go 11-0 in the next 11 weeks, or 12 weeks because they've got their bye, yeah, I won't be too happy if I was an Eagles fan. So yeah, we've got Eagles Giants. I believe it's at Philadelphia, but I will double check, as that will sway my opinion. Not by much, but ever so slightly.
Who'd you pick? Eagles, Giants?
Eagles.
Yeah, I'd be going the same. Oh, someone's not convinced.
Giants seem a little bit.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know, when they've got Odell just like tossing touchdowns left, right and centre.
I don't know, there was... I think Eli took a knock when they didn't play him last season, and I think the Giants don't look like the team that they used to look like. I'm not saying they're going to be heading to any Super Bowls anytime soon, but they're certainly not the team they were. The Eagles are also not the team they were. I think they're struggling to get the game going.
Well, Wentz is still trying to find his feet again, I think, after his injury. So, yeah, it's not a massive problem or anything like that.
Like I say, I'm not going to say the Giants. I'm just saying that is a tough pick for me, and I'm probably going to say the Eagles. But I don't think the Giants will make it easy for them.
By the way, we keep giving these previews and we keep giving our picks. I don't think any of us have actually sort of picked up on the fact if any of us was on like a winning streak.
Gone back to see if we're actually right.
there's one podcast I listen to where they have to give their lock of the week, and then they basically keep a note of which ones they get right and which ones they get wrong. So we could maybe steal
capturing.
Yes.
The predictions.
And do that, or we could just basically say our banker victory of the week goes to, and then we could see how we're getting on with them at the end of the season. Just a thought.
So I won money this week.
I won money this week?
Yeah.
Was it on the touchdown treble boost?
Yes.
Did you do both of them?
Yes.
So did I. I won £70, I believe.
Oh, jeez. I only put £1 on mine.
Fucking
Fivers on each.
Nice.
Jesus.
It was well worth it. Moving swiftly on. The next one we have is the Buccaneers going up against the Falcons.
It's going to be the Falcons.
You would imagine so. They can't go to 1-5, surely.
I don't know. The Buccaneers have been. I'm probably leaning Buccaneers. I want to say the Falcons, but I don't think I can, in good faith, say.
I think the Bucs are at home, so that maybe sways it a little bit. But I'm just thinking the Falcons can't really afford any more losses this early, so they're going to have to start picking up wins. And they are a better team than the Bucs. I don't think anyone can deny that.
They are,
but
another team that just can't get it going.
Like I said, though, they keep being really unlucky. They keep losing games by not that much.
Another game, Browns Chargers.
Chargers.
Are you saying Chargers because it's them playing the Browns? Or are you saying it because you think the Chargers are genuinely going to win? Because I saw a bit of the Chargers playing, and I was like, Phillip Rivers, what's going on? What's going on with Phil? Big Phil. I'm going to say Chargers because I guess you have to, but the Browns have had 2 wins this season.
I'm gonna put it out there. The Browns are going to march into Los Angeles and take a win. First road win for the Browns in God knows how many years, months, decades, weeks.
We've got Colts versus the Jets. Now, I wanted to talk about both of these teams.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this week that both of those teams looked good.
I didn't see the game. I didn't see the Colts versus the Patriots game on Thursday Night Football.
I watched it.
I read a few bits about it, and it sounded like they did.
The Colts did really well.
To say they were playing in New England.
Yeah, they did really well. They played really well, and that's hard for me to say because I have very little time for the Colts. But they were going up against the Patriots. For me, that was like I couldn't care less who wins game. But it was a very good game, and the Colts played very well. The Jets also played well.
I seem to think that the Colts were like 1-4.
Was it the Jets that had a return that was potentially the longest touchdown that was disallowed?
No,
because it was 104
yards.
It
wasn't disallowed. He basically got stopped at about the 2.
Oh yeah, the longest return.
But he kept going.
Yeah.
So they brought the. I can't remember who they were playing now. Titans? No.
The Broncos.
Yes. And they brought him down right at the 2 or something like that, and he was like,
Run the entire.
But they were saying on Red Zone that if he'd have scored it, it would have been the longest touchdown of all
in
time.
History, in NFL history.
Because he took it that deep in his own end zone and then brought it all the way out.
Yeah. Some of us in this room will be seeing this game live from Wembley Stadium Sunday at 6 o'clock. The Raiders versus the Seahawks. Boom.
2 years ago, I'd have said that's potentially a Super Bowl worthy game. Because the Raiders were, for a season, really, really good.
Yeah, they were.
And the Seahawks were in that run where they were, making Super Bowls or making, NFC Championship games. Now, you're only going to watch Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I want to see Lynch from the Raiders, and I want to see the Seahawks. So it kind of works for me. It's a good little matchup.
It should be a good match, to be fair. Yeah, they've both got decent parts of offense. They've both got decent defenses.
I will be wearing my newest acquisition. One of my newest acquisitions.
Which one though? Because neither. Well, you can only wear one of them to be relevant anymore.
Yeah, that is true.
So
we've got Redskins, Panthers.
Panthers should win it, really.
Panthers should win it, really. Thoughts on that one?
Couldn't really say.
Oh, okay.
Skins have just been beaten by New Orleans. Panthers have just had a win.
Probably Panthers. Texans, Bills.
Bit of a dross, really.
Could anybody care about that game?
Texans have just had two back. They've just gone two back to back. The Bills just got an unlikely win against the Titans. So, yeah. It's one of those games that on paper sounds terrible. It's probably going to end up being about 45-41 or something like that. Probably one of those games.
The Vikings versus the Cardinals.
Vikings have got to start picking up wins soon. Because they've been very disappointing. So
I think I would put the Vikings for a win on that one. Personally.
Did they win this week?
Vikings, I think they did. Now I come to think of it.
They just cinched a win.
Yeah, it was a repeat of the
against the Eagles.
NFC
So it was
Championship.
a 23-21 against the Eagles.
Right.
We've got the Bengals versus your boys.
Steelers.
We were talking about the Bengals on Sunday, saying they look really good every week.
So this is the thing. So I think I said this right at the start of the season. My friend Steve is when I was listening to their season preview podcast, he said that his value bet for the AFC North, I think is their division, was the Bengals to make the playoffs, and it was 8-1, and they're already 4-1, and they're top of the division. So his bet is looking pretty safe. I know they're playing the Steelers, but they're in a bit of a run where they're just looking not unbeatable, but
They look really good. They look really nice.
really strong. They've got AJ Green. They've got a good running back, John Mixon.
Green. I'm so glad I picked him up. Definitely going off injured this week.
Picked him up makes him sound like he was just available on the waiver wire. You drafted him because you were in the correct place to draft him.
And I'm glad that I made that decision.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, exactly. He just sort of fell into your lap.
I'm potentially going Bengals.
I'd go Bengals personally, just because the Steelers are all over the place.
I'm going to have to say Steelers.
You're going to have to.
Have to, yeah.
She physically has to say it.
Have to say
Arm is
it.
being twisted.
Let's talk Dolphins football versus the Bears.
Oh.
I think that's a tough matchup.
I don't think it is. The Dolphins have been poor the last couple of weeks, and the Bears' defence is stacked. And Trubisky's just come off a week where, well, he's just had a bye, but he's just come off a week where he threw 6 touchdowns.
Oh god, that week was insane.
I'm thinking a Bears win for me there, but
yeah, I'd probably agree.
It wouldn't surprise me if the Dolphins upset them, but
I don't think the Dolphins are going to make it easy.
No.
Let's leave it there. Broncos versus the Rams.
oh dear.
I mean, I don't even.
Rams?
It's going to be the Rams, isn't it? The Rams are absolutely crucial.
I'll be amazed if
And
the team that
Broncos.
posts the first loss on the Rams this season is a team that's as poor as the Broncos.
Titans Ravens. A little bit of a snooze fest on that one.
No, I don't think that is so. Up until last week against the Browns, apparently the Ravens had had an average of 2.2 points scored against them in the second half of games. So their defence is just absolutely off the charts. Just see what the game's underneath that. Lol. Yeah, I'll go. I'd go Ravens. But
I'd go Ravens on that.
Tight game. That could be one of those games that's all field goals for me.
Yeah. Last 3 games of the week. The Cowboys versus the Jaguars.
That's what I was looking at. That's another one where it could go either way, or the Jags could absolutely smoke them.
I think it's going to go that way. I think the Jaguars are going to turn up.
No, but it's so.
It depends who turns up, whether the Jaguars turn up or the Jaguars.
The problem with the Cowboys is that they like, if Zeke has a big game,
It's a big
in
if,
theory
though,
they
isn't it?
could win. But
How many times do we have to talk about the fact that the Cowboys are basically building an entire team on one player and thinking that that's a winning combination?
I mean, letting it's been covered on other podcasts and so on. Letting Des Bryant go and not replacing him with an adequate receiver was just madness.
Yep.
And they're paying for it now because they have no throwing game. They've just not got any. I mean, they've got Cole Beasley as a slot receiver, but that's about it. So they're only getting small gains. They're only getting small yardage. So they're just relying on Zeke to get them first downs every time. And it's just as if they're playing against teams that can stop the run, then they're always going to struggle.
Yeah.
But
The Patriots versus the 5 and Bagel Chiefs.
Ooh.
That's a game right there.
that's the Chiefs' first real test
I'd
to
like
see
to
what their
the
credentials
Chiefs
are.
win.
I think everyone.
I'd like to see the Chiefs win.
Most pleasing. Sky.
That's definitely their first big test.
Is it home or away?
I think it's at the Pats.
Yeah, it is.
They were away
Gillette
last year,
Stadium.
weren't
I'm going to be keeping an eye on that game, let's put it that way.
It's the Monday. That's the Sunday night game. You should look at whether you've got an ability to
See the future.
like get like
No.
what was it? Internet radio. So when you're driving back, try and get a feed of that game to listen to. It might be too late because it won't start till 1:20. But because bear in mind, you probably won't get out of London until about 10:30.
At least. That game's going to run 4 hours.
You need to get a tube somewhere, don't you? Before you're trying to get out.
Yeah, then I got to get in the car, then I got to get out of wherever the hell we're parking and stuff. Yeah, I'm expecting like a 12 o'clock departure for that 4-hour drive.
You're not in on Monday then?
Of course not.
You're a fucking
You'll have
good
to
man.
stop somewhere en route as well, do you?
I'll be working from home.
Make sure you stop somewhere that's called Sky Sports and just be like, is that the game?
You put the game in place. And finally, our final game for the week is the Packers versus Matthew's favourite team, the San Francisco 49ers.
As we discovered last week, apparently both Matthews support the 49ers. So maybe it's that as well. You have to be named Matthew.
One
You have to be
person.
named Matthew. And you have to support the San Francisco 49ers and you'll do well in fantasy.
Apparently so. I would rather...
I mean, that should be a fairly banker win for the Packers, but
Yeah, I mean, the Packers are just going to walk through that one, aren't they?
you'd imagine so.
To say that, the 49ers backup quarterback...
Yeah, he looked all right.
Not
I think he's
bad.
I think he's proved enough that they don't have to go out and trade for a replacement or anything like that.
Yeah, potentially.
So he should be good enough to carry him through to the end of the season, I suppose, and just wait for Garoppolo to come back. So there you go.
There you go.
Another
There you
week.
go.
Another week
Another week under the belt.
in the bag.
2018 is well underway this season.
All to play for.
Well, apart from if you own 5.
But I'm not, so that's okay.
Are we going to have to vote in a new commissioner?
I think you might have to. If I end up 0-13, I think I'm just going to spontaneously combust or something like that.
Well, you're just going to throw your hog out and refuse.
I'll just do this.
Recreate the league next year.
Or I'll just turn it to a 14-team league and actually have 2 other teams in it.
It's going to be the scene in the league where Brian just goes absolutely mental and smashes up all the nativity scene.
What the?
Everything fucking years doing this for you guys, and you're pissing mode, and I never win.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Any last thoughts?
Nothing from me.
Nothing from me. No, and nothing from
Nothing
me.
from me. No.
Right, we'll leave it there then.
Thanks
for
having
joining
me
us.
Thanks,
Thanks for
guys.
Thanks for doing all the.
Thanks for doing just the two of you.
all of the
Stats.
stats for this week. I appreciate that.
Statistician.
Could have yourself a job there.
I liked that job.
It was good. It was very, very informative.
Very in depth. Very in depth.
Very in depth, very informative, very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Google's awesome.
The illusion's ruined.
No, some of
We've
it
seen the
came
man
from
behind
my
the curtain.
brain.
I've seen the
Appreciate
man behind the curtain.
Anyway, over and out.
Excellent.
All right, leave it there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to our guests on the phone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cheers, guys.
Turned up.
Top
Bye.
one? Is it the top one?
Yeah. So, press it so it comes on. So there you go. Week 5 in the bag. Week 6 about to begin. How are you doing in your fantasy leagues? You winning? I am not. But then, Paul's not doing that great either. Jump over to thecookiecast.com. Send us some social media love. Then, for you YouTube people, watchers, subscribers, hopefully, get subscribing, get commenting, tell us what's happening. For you audio listeners, send us things via thecookiecast.com. Give us a shout. Yeah. So, week 6, what you got? You got a win this week? Hope so. I probably won't win, but, them's the breaks, as they say. So yeah, join us next week for our week 6 review, week 7 preview. But until then, I'm going to say bye-bye.